Marshall Crosley, and welcome to Real World Pediatrics. So, today I want to talk about the child prodigy. So, this piece is really for young people who are just finishing high school. Of course, anyone can use this advice. Okay, let's say you're finishing high school or even college, and you're going to move on to a higher level of education. So let's assume that you've done pretty well so far in your life and that you've had success. It's only natural for you to assume that you're going to do pretty well in college or the next higher level where you go. Now, who knows? Maybe you're a football player who's excelled at high school football. You can use this advice too. So your natural expectation is that you're going to kill it in college. Well, that may not happen. It's just a fact of life that there are other people who want the same things that you do and who are competing for what you want. Now, this can be a rude awakening for people who go to college. One minute you're the star in high school, and the next minute you're not the star in college. Now, that's just the way it is. That's reality. It's a competitive world. So, what are you going to do? You're going to have to suck up that pain, eat it, and breathe it. Now, thrown into that reality is intimidation from other people and a lot of nonsense that people talk about. Now, what is some of that nonsense? Well, it's stupid comments that are thrown around loosely. And one of them is the child prodigy comment. Another is the false concept of photographic memory. What do I mean by that? Well, you get to your higher level of education or area of endeavor, and you see that there's one person that's outperforming nearly everyone else. Now, that's bad enough. What makes it worse is that when people casually remark that the individual who is doing well has natural talent, or is a child prodigy, or has a photographic memory. Now, even though that may be true, that the so-called superstar has natural talent, you have to delete those thoughts from your mind. You can't allow yourself to be intimidated when you go to a higher level of competition. You can't allow people and ideas to work on your mind. Otherwise, you're just going to get depressed. You'll get depressed because there's nothing you can do about that. It's outside of your control. And it goes against everything you've ever believed about success and working hard. And there are people who have killed themselves because they didn't feel as if they were not good enough. So you have to be aware of that, and you have to be ready for it. You have to dismiss those thoughts from your mind, put your head down, and move forward and diligently practice or study. Now, to tell the truth, what's going to get you ahead in this world is dedication and practice. Sure, there are some people who start off with advantages in life, but most of the time, those people who everybody regards as the child prodigy is someone who has put in the time and effort into their craft. You just don't know it. Well, that's what you have to do. You can't allow yourself to be intimidated. Quite frankly, everyone has a unique gift in this world, and you are no different. Maybe you're the child prodigy. That's what you have to tell yourself. In fact, you are a child prodigy. You just don't know it. Everybody has a unique experience in life which gives them a special advantage in a particular area of human endeavor. Your goal is to find out what it is, but you're not going to get there if you're psyched out and intimidated. I want you to remember that it's a long race. And many people struggle when they go to college. I struggled when I went to college. There were people outperforming me. Now, that didn't bother me as much because I was never a superstar in high school. I was never considered the smartest guy in high school, at least as far as grades. I did well, but I didn't have people clapping when I walked into a room. I wasn't a valedictorian. I wasn't the salutatorian. Still, I wanted to do better than I was doing. So I had to think about things. And it took me a couple of years before I found my place in college. I needed to find my own studying style, what was going to work for me. And what worked for me was to cut all my classes. So I'd study from 9 at night until like 5 in the morning, and then I'd crash. I'd sleep all day, didn't go to any classes. And after I did that, my grades like skyrocketed. I came to realize it was something about my brain that made going to class counterproductive. Now, I have attention deficit disorder, but I didn't know it at the time because it really wasn't a commonly diagnosed entity at the time. So I had to find my style. That's the point. And it's going to be that way for you too. You're going to have to figure out your own way, but you're never going to get there if you feel intimidated. You're never going to get there if you give up. You have to understand also that these child prodigies, the ones that everybody talks about, they're human beings. They have other problems too. They're not perfect people. So I want you to think about that if you go to college and you're struggling, whether you're an academic or whether you're in football or whether you're in some other sport or area of endeavor. It's a long race. It's often the story of the tortoise and the hare. And there's some scientific basis to this story of the tortoise and the hare. So I did Google search, and this is what came up. Yes, there is scientific backing for the principle behind the tortoise and the hare, primarily in the concept that consistency and perseverance can overcome inconsistent talent, and that slow, steady progress can lead to a better long term outcome than inconsistent bursts of speed. Studies have shown that when an animal's movements are averaged over its lifetime, faster animals tend to be slower overall, supporting the fable's lesson that consistency wins in the long run. This concept also appears in fields like evolutionary biology under the tortoise hare pattern and in human endeavors like business, where slow and steady founders can achieve better long term success. So, don't be afraid to be a tortoise. Ask a lot of questions and plow forward through the pain.